Hello, friends. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Reading Sprints. We have been gabbing about what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a reading journal for me. Bailey's been already working on hers. We've been talking about some spreads, but let us know in the chat what you're reading. Um, Bullet journal stuff. Okay, I did last year this one, and I got like halfway through it, and I was like, listen, I just kind of want to start fresh, do a new spread entirely. So I think I'm gonna do that. But there were a couple spreads in here that I did more junk style,
Hmm.
that I loved. And so I think that I need to be more like this year. So I've been just kind of procrastinating, ripping off the band-aid for doing it. I need to go look at what your spread is. We were talking about your junk journaling stuff that you're starting to do. I love it.
Yes. So I really want to make my reading journal junk
Yeah.
journal style. So I in the past have done like very structured like monthly themes with like the just month whatever, like my TBR with a cover page and like making each page like a specific theme for the whole month. And I feel like that was really good when I was doing it, but I wanted to be a little bit more creative, if you will, and like do kind of more of that junk journal like scrapbooking style. So that's like my goal because I've been on like junk journal TikTok for the last like few days and I'm obsessed. Like I'm just like these are my people.
This is me. This is what I want to do. These are who my
Yeah,
people are.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, how can I do that but make it bookish?
Right.
And so that's the goal and the vibe for this year.
I'm looking at your Binding 13 spread and I'm like, yeah, she's cute. I like it. I think that it takes out the like inability to draw on my behalf. And I can just like rip up a piece of paper and stick it on there and make it like more collagey instead of like artistic because I don't have an artist mode in my body apparently. I support this very much so. I see you have your name set to Into the Dark.
Yes.
Best of luck. I have not read that one.
I'm on chapter 2. I started it last night.
How's it? I mean, it's chapter 2, but how's it going?
I mean, it's going fine. Like obviously we're not discussing right now the events of the ending of the last book. So,
The
um, yeah. So I'm like, okay, are we going to talk about that, or are we just gonna like gloss over it, or
circle back to this at all, or are we just gonna like start somewhere else?
yeah? And I'm like, where's Daisy? Like, obviously I know where Daisy is, but like, where's Daisy? Like,
Hello, let's
yeah,
go.
it's like I see Christian, but I need Daisy too.
So when did you start reading Magnolia Parks?
I started it in 2023.
So it's been a while.
2023. I had to
Okay.
think because I was still in my apartment at the time when I started it. And then like obviously with me moving and like being in the house, but like I've been reading it while I was in the house, but then I was also in the apartment. But then like the
Mm.
timeline of that was just like kind of weird. So I had to like think about like when was I actually in my apartment versus like
You're like, where was I? What was happening at that time?
yeah, yeah. It's like I remember the specific place that I was, but I just have to remember when was I at that place.
Mm-hmm.
But
Nice.
so yeah, I think I started it was like May of 2023 is when I read the first one.
Okay. I've read the first two, and I think that was it like August or something of this year. Part of me is like, you need to continue immediately. Part of me is like, am I ready to do that? I don't know. It's one of those where it's like you have to be ready, kind of, but you're also never going to be ready for all the chaos that is it. So you just kind of have to dive in.
Yeah. Navy, what are you reading?
My dogs are currently at the groomers because they had an appointment scheduled for yesterday. And I guess she does everything in a shed in the back of her house. And I guess
Mm.
her heater that she had like pointed at the water apparently shut off and she didn't know. So all of her water froze. So she texted my roommate who works nights who's asleep, who didn't get the text message. So I show up at her house and I was like, hey, your gate's locked. Like I'm here. And she was like, yeah, sorry about you. So we rescheduled for today. So they're there, which means I don't have to worry about Oliver barking at all the neighbors while we're sprinting, which is so nice. But they'll be ready probably at like 12 to 12:30. So I figured we could do like 30-minute sprints. And
Sure.
then um She's supposed to text me at some point, so we'll see how long we go. If not, whatever. But she's like, yeah, honestly, I don't have anything else to do today. They can just sit here. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's like not a rush thing either. So, but so Navy is the only dog of the sprint. He is the star of the show. He's the moment.
Fantastic.
Cozy.
It's time to shine.
Is he a snow dog? Like, does he like it, or does he like?
He's been outside eating it. This is his second snow, which he obviously probably doesn't really remember his first one since it was a year ago, but I want to say he was probably like 4 months old at the time. So he was still like very like baby, but he has been out there. He's been running around. He's been eating all of the snow.
I love that for him.
Because he's like an ice dog. He loves ice. So I'm not surprised that he would be out there eating it.
Land ice. Does he like gallop through it, or does he kind of just like stick in his one place and he's like, this, I'm just gonna eat this now?
He does both. So like when he first gets out there, he's kind of unsure about it and he's like picking his feet up like he doesn't like it. And then like all of a sudden he'll like take off running.
Perfect.
And I'm like, okay.
Bye. Have a great day.
Yeah, like
to know you while you were here.
Like, you go be cold. I'm gonna watch from the window.
I'll be here. Thank you so much. Yeah. Finley, he loves to just frolic through it. And then Oliver's kind of like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna eat it. So like we have kind of the mix here. So he sounds like he's the mix of both. I love it.
Yeah, because then he'll get done running around and then he'll come on the patio and then he'll like stand on the patio and like eat the snow around the edges of the patio.
Oh my gosh. He's so cute. I love how he's just like staring into the camera half the time. He's like, I'm here.
This is like, I'm trying to know what's going on.
He's so nosy.
He destroyed like 2 toys already this morning.
Perfect.
So he's probably tired.
Perfect. I have time. I love it. I am going to, I'm trying to think, like, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in front of me. I'm like, what are my options here? I need to start Shadows and Storms, which I think I might do that later today, maybe tomorrow. But I think what I'm going to do is listen to Juniper Hill. I keep trying to say Indigo Ridge, and I don't know why I cannot like keep in my head the fact that Indigo Ridge is book 1, Juniper Hill is 2. I keep trying to like flip around. I've been saying Indigo Hill, Juniper Ridge. Like, girl, calm down. But
yeah, I have to say the first 2 are my favorite out of that whole series. I think I support Juniper Hill.
Perfect. So far, Juniper Hill is my favorite. I fell asleep listening to the audiobook couple nights ago, and I have no idea where I actually am. I think I'm at chapter 16. We have gotten the romance. We're getting into the suspense, and I'm so ready. But the audiobook for it, like whenever you borrow the Kindle Unlimited title, I think it ended up being like $3, and I was like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's happening.
Yeah, I am literally sitting here looking at it on my shelf. I'm like, do I need to reread? Is it time for a reread?
When did you read it first? Was it like a minute, or was it?
No, it's been a minute. Like, it's been a minute. It's been at least like 2 to 3 years. Like, it was before, because I was actively waiting on them to come out. Like, I think when I started, it was only the first 3, and I was waiting on like Crimson River to come out.
Slay, yeah. And so it's time for a reread.
Yeah, because I remember I like read the first 2 pretty much like back to back, and then the third one was Garnet Flats. Because was I waiting on that one to come out too? Because I remember not loving Garnet Flats, because there's also Jasper Vale. Okay, well, Jasper Vale I think is the third one.
5 of them.
I think those 3 were out.
See, I don't even know how many there are. I'm just kind of like, what's next?
Yeah, because I think it goes Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, Jasper Vale, Garnet Flats, Crimson River, and then Sable Peak.
Okay.
I think that's the order. I might be missing one because I feel like she did 2 that were like the same color. Like, they're not the same color, but they're basically the same color, because one of them is like red and the other one is like crimson.
That's the same color.
So it's like,
that's just, I mean, in terms of like blue, green to red to crimson, like the red and the crimson are gonna be the same color.
And then like, because there's a yellow one too, and then a purple one. But I feel like the crimson one was supposed to be more like pinky, but it's red. And they're
Mm,
like right after each other too, so they're like right next to each other.
perfect. Perfect, perfect. I don't have the physical copies, and every time I look at them, like they have them at Barnes now, and they're always in a different order every time, which is weird. Like the yellow one, half the time is at the beginning, and I'm like, I know that that's not the first book, so I have no idea like what the visual is here. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
because I think it goes blue, green,
okay.
yellow, red, crimson, purple.
Yeah, that yeah, that sounds right. Expert in the room. We defer. I love that. Perfect. Well, do we want to get into our first sprint? I did not start sharing my screen earlier, so now I'm like,
How do I technology?
how do I technology? Which screen am I sharing here? Okay. Yes. I searched through the LiFat screens today, and I couldn't like I felt like all of the wintry ones were so Christmassy. So we're going with a nice little frozen lake to pay homage to the fact that Bailey is still snowed in halfway. Um Maybe
Cutesy.
later.
I love.
Okie dokie. Well, we will see everyone in 30. Hello, friends. Welcome back. How was that sprint for everyone? Guys, our timer here because Lord knows I never stick to a time break.
I think you muted yourself on accident.
Well, hold on. I think because my AirPods keep trying to connect to my computer, I'm like,
Sure.
hello. Okay, how about that?
Okay, yeah, we got you.
Okay, yes. Okay. AirPods, thanks so much for your continuous listening abilities. Not now. I read a good chunk of I keep trying to say Indigo Ridge of Juniper Hill. And I think because I hate cooking so much, the main character, like cooking for her, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, that's so sweet.
No.
I
Yeah.
love that. I would love to have that. I'm having fun with it. How far did you get?
I read 36 pages in Into the Dark, and
You're sad.
I'm sad.
You're like, I'm not prepared.
Like I want to be prepared. I thought I was prepared. I don't think I'll ever be prepared enough.
Yeah.
Even as I finish it, I don't even think I'll still be prepared after I've read it.
Like no preparation will ever be
Enough.
Like 2 years later, I still won't be prepared for what just happened to me.
Yeah, I still think about the end of the first Magnolia Parks, and I'm like, yeah, as Magnolia should.
Becca says she's currently reading Happy Place. I love that for you. I've only ever read Funny Story, and part of me is like, man, I really should actually read some of him, but also I just haven't yet.
I loved Happy Place, but I did not like Funny Story.
Yeah. See, I think that was kind of a weird one to start off with, but I'd read it for a book club, and so I was like, oh, obviously, that's what I'm going to start with. And then I just haven't read anything since then. But I thought it was good. It was not like, I don't know, my favorite book in the world.
Yeah, I think I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love Funny Story, but Happy Place gave it 5 stars. Love that book.
Heyo, there you go. Let's see. Ryan, first of all, you're writing your first book. That is so hardcore. Let's check it out. You've been only the first couple pages. I think you commented here in a little bit that you sent the link, so I might look at that link after sprints. Stargate Mary. Okay, hello folks. I'm reading The Shadow Girls by Alice Blanchard. I don't know what that is. What is that? Is that like what genre is that? Let us know. Becca read 25 pages of Happy Place. Did you start it? Are you like in the middle of it? Are you somewhere? What kind of 25 pages are those? Because I'm kind of curious, like, how's it going for you? I the state of my desk right now is really entertaining because there's just like sticky notes of all of the pages. Because I think what I'm gonna do, I am gonna draft everything out in terms of like what pages are gonna go where, stick them on sticky notes, put them in places. And there's so many. I think what I'm trying to figure out right now is how I'm gonna do my monthly spreads. Because I think the way that I did them last year, I don't really love how I did that. Because I ended up never going back and setting up half the months.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't like actively bullet journal as much last year as I wanted to. Like I have so many pages in here that like November I never did. December I never did. So I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I know with mine, previously I would do like monthly. So then it would be like I would do the cover page for the month, then I would do the TBR, and then you'd flip the page, and then it'd be like the days read, and then like flip the page again, or like not days read, but like books read, and then flip the page again, and then it would be like any book club things that I was doing, or like quotes or like whatever for each month. And that was fine, but now I've started doing it where I do like one January page. It's like my January page, and it has like my January TBR on it. And then I did a 24-hour readathon, so then that's the next page. And then I did like a book spread or a book that I read in January, and then I hit 1K, so I'm doing like a 1K spread. And then
Which,
like
first of all, I meant to talk about that earlier today. I'm so excited for you. What a
thank
week.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
like subscribers on YouTube or when was that? Was that Wednesday?
It was Wednesday, I think. Yeah, Wednesday. So yeah,
I'm so
I'm
excited
excited. Like I
for him.
just like I'm so excited. Like I think about like when I was in like ninth grade and like I was obsessed with like Aspen Ovard and like the original like YouTube people and like loved the School Supply Hall. And like I always wanted to do YouTube and like just never did until I was like 21 or whatever. And now here I am. I've got 1,000 subscribers and I could actually cry about it. Like I'm so
Like, how
excited.
can we make you cry? Friends, we're gonna do it real quick.
I know I'm like start crying. I'm already sad. So it's like just might as well.
We swooped in on the most perfect emotionally vulnerable time.
Yeah.
I think we had looked a couple days before you hit it. I feel like you had like, whoa, Navy.
Whoa. Whoa.
So, anyways, good job, Bailey. I'm so excited for you. Becca, you're currently on page 79. It's okay. I finished Funny Story this past Monday and it was a 5-star for me. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious to see. I feel like everybody ranks their MHens, like, that's how they relate. Like, that's how they think of them. They're always like, yeah, I liked it, but I like this one better or I like this one more. So I'm interested in your rankings here. I feel like I've listened to Funny Story and audio. Those, I think that if the audiobooks were more easily like library accessible because they're so popular, you can hardly get a hold of them. I think that if I had an easier time getting a hold of them, I'd probably read them more often, I think. But I really like the audiobook Funny Story. That was all I was trying to say.
I get more of my like popular ones on Spotify.
So we have a family account. My
Mhm.
dad's the account holder.
So he
So
gets audiobooks.
he gets them. And he doesn't listen
Listen
to.
to them.
I say that we made him read The Hunger Games one time on a road trip, and it was iconic. And he was like, "Wait, I kind of like this," and I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of fun." And he's never listened to another one since. We tried. We tried. Congrats on almost 1,000. You guys are awesome. Thanks. It's been so my anniversary was yesterday, day before yesterday, something like that. So I'm just very thankful to BookTube
Stop.
for
What if we look? You have the same anniversary. Let me go look.
get out. Okay, so you guys, we did private friends the other night. Bailey and I have so many random like twin moments. It's hilarious. We started off with the name. I didn't think about this earlier, but like my sister that's the next youngest to me, her middle name's Nicole. We closed on our houses like roughly the same time of year.
Like
Um,
1 day apart. Yeah.
a literal singular day apart. Like
Yeah.
what? I've never been a person that's been like, oh yeah, coincidences are like totally a thing. There's always something that's planning, but I'm like, wait, there's too many coincidences here for this to be
No, I
normal.
just don't believe in coincidences.
You're like, not happening.
Okay, let me see. When did I post my very first video?
Why do that? Out of the few I've read, I would rank them funny story, beach read, people we meet on vacation. Okay.
Okay, so I feel like okay, so my very first my very first video that I ever posted was posted on Christmas of 2018, but I feel like I don't want to count that because that wasn't like a real video.
Yeah.
So like my first ever like video like an actual like reading vlog was posted on January 7th of 2019.
Dang. That's I'm like, wait, no. That's that is so funny.
Is that your
I think wait,
anniversary?
I screenshotted it. Hold on. Where did I put my phone in the mess of all the chaos that's happening here? Um what's funny is that I had filmed because I had done Bookstagram starting in 2022, I think. So like I made it on Bookstagram a year and I loved it, but I kept every time that I would like make a reel or get on a story, I was like, I just need to keep talking and I can't like cut this down. So I have to have a long form content here. Which I had same thing as you, like I had watched YouTube for forever and I had just never like found a niche that I really wanted to do and or just had never like I'd filmed a millions of things and I just never posted it. So I finally did that like December TBR, and I think I had even filmed like a TBR video way beforehand that I never posted either. But so like all of that to say, there was a lot of build up to me finally just freaking doing it. So then my first video was that December TBR video, and it was supposed to be posted about Christmas time, and then I ended up just like, no, it's fine. And I remember the day that I like posted the very first one. I was walking around at Target and I had uploaded it. It was scheduled. And I was like, wait, should I post this right now? Should I just do this? I was like walking around like, do I just do this right now? And then I did it. I was like in a full blown like adrenaline rush thing. But I'm so stinking glad that I did that because I've had so much fun this last year doing it, making all the friends that we've made so far, and like getting to gab over and over because clearly I never stop talking. Um, so if you're looking for a sign, thought that'd be your sign to do it.
Absolutely. I love like anytime anyone tells me they're like, "Oh, I have a YouTube channel." I'm like, literally love that. Tell me about
it. Tell me all about it. It would have been Thursday, so the 9th. So 2 days apart.
it. Wow. So close.
That's amazing. It was kind of fun, like doing a January start though, because I felt like I got to do a full year of it, and I'm like, wow, it's restart year, and it like felt very normal.
And it also feels like kind of like a resolution because it's like you think to yourself all of these years and like whatever in months, and you're like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but then you like are like, okay, well, when am I actually gonna do it? And then it's like, okay, my goal for the new year is to actually like start that YouTube channel. And then it's like you do it, and then here you are 6 years later, and you're like, oh, I'm still doing it.
I think that's really cool because you've been doing it so long, you've been able to be very consistent with it. Like you're clearly doing something right. So
Well, I wasn't super consistent with it up until like, oh, probably like 2 years now. Because I would like post for 6 months and then I would stop posting for a year and then I would post for 6 months again and then I would like stop posting for like 3 months and then like come back. But I have been consistent like the last couple of years now. So
I love that. You kind of like I bet you've always come back to it.
yeah, it's like I feel like it's where my heart is. It's like my favorite hobby.
I love that. Same. It's so funny because it's like every time that I sit down to like do an update of a vlog, I'm like, wow, that was 20 minutes of my life that I'm glad that I spent just gabbing. That was a fun time.
Yeah. And it's like nobody in your personal life really reads like you read. So then it's like to meet people that do read like you read, and then you can actually like talk about what you're reading about. It's just so nice. Like it's my favorite thing ever.
Mm-hmm. I think my roommate was getting sick and tired of me just being like, oh my gosh.
You have to read this book. No, I'll never read it ever.
I did finally get her to read Akatar when fairly recently, and it was the best moment of my life. It was amazing. I was like, wow, she gets it now. She gets it. She gets it. Yeah. She read Fourth Wing too, and now that Onyx Storm is starting to come out very, very soon, that feels like not very close. It's felt like not very close for a really long time. And I'm like, wait, that's like
no, it's like 2 weeks. Yeah,
2 weeks. I need to finish my Iron Flame reread, so maybe after I finish, I keep trying to say Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill. I might switch over to that at some point, but
which I know you mentioned Shadow and Storms, and we did just get the title for the second.
Can we talk about how she's releasing not all of them, but 3 books this year?
I did not know that, but love it.
I commented and I said, I'm sorry, what? And she liked my comment, and I was like, I hope you know that I'm flabbergasted at this right now. She posted her 2025 update, like, is that yesterday?
Let me go look at it because I saw this morning where she revealed the title for the second book, and I'm like, don't tell me that.
Entire trilogy, and so it will be a trilogy, and it's the entire trilogy. But so we're getting Embers January. I forget what that date is, but then July book 2 and December book 3. My gas would have been flabbered. I just cannot believe.
I'm like obsessed with her. Like I would love to read like her backlist, but I'm just so out of my YA bag that like I'm not enjoying anything YA, so I don't even want to like do that to her because I love her so much that
But
I
that's
like would not want to to like give her YA stuff like not a good rating, which not saying that like obviously I would, but I love her adult stuff and so I'm just like I can't do it.
I can't. Yeah, I Fate and Furies.
The ending of Fate and Furies was tea.
What? What? And my biggest regret is that I read Slaying the Shadow Prince back in I want to say March, and then I waited until July to read Blood and Steel, and then I just never read Thousand Runes. And I'm like, because I kept putting it off because I was like, I know that's just going to take over my life, and I never wanted to carve out space for it to do that. I'm like, why didn't I just do that? But this whole time, I could have been experiencing this. But then also, I think this is such a binge read like style series, and I kept being like, wow, I really want to go back and reread Shadow Prince. Wow, I really want to go back and read book 1. Like, wow, I really want to go back and reread. I'm like, well, if you would have just read it in the first place, like you would have not had the thing. So, shame on me for taking this long, but I'm here now.
Yeah, I basically binged it in like a couple weeks. Like I put like a few in between because I was waiting on my physical copies to come in the mail, but stunning. So if you're in this chat and you've never read Blood and Steel by Helen Scher, do it. This is your sign.
Start it right now.
Yeah, start it right now. It's on Kindle Unlimited.
Moment. I ordered the physical copies for Fate and Furies and the Shadow and Swords, and they're supposed to get here Monday. And I'm like, I need it in my hands immediately. I need it. But I'm terrible at ordering like KU books just because I'm not a good online shopper. Like I was, oh, I'll just do that in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. Whereas if I'm in person, it's obviously easier to shop that way. So I'm like, it's been a minute but I finally ordered it. I'm finally reading it. We've made it.
I just have a hard time pre-ordering ebooks, but like because I'm like they're almost the same price. Like I went to go buy Beg, Borrow, and Steal by Sarah Adams on my Kindle, and then I changed my mind because the paperback was like $3 more, and I was like, why would I like? But then I was like, I just don't even know if I would still want this book. So like, do I need the physical version? But then I'm like, I want the ebook, but because I want to read it, but I'm just like, what do I do? Do I save $3 by getting the ebook, or do I get a tangible copy for $3 more?
I don't know how you are, but I'm so in my Kindle bag right now. Like I have not picked up a real book in an embarrassing amount of time to where I'm like, I almost won't even read it, which is terrible to say. And I need to like figure that out. But like, I love reading on my Kindle so much. And I love not having to like flip pages physically and be able to just like lay and not move. I can hold it so much easier. So I would probably say the Kindle option. But
I'm like in my all the formats bag. Like I love to have every format on hand.
mm-hmm.
I like to have the audiobook, I like to have the ebook and the physical book just in case I need any of it, in case I'm on the go and I don't have it, then I have it.
And you do a lot of immersive, like tandem style reading.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite.
I need to do that more. I think that sounds like such a fun time. And because a lot of times, like my brain, I think with physical like book reading, I want to like move my eyeballs around sometimes. Like I feel like that would be so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Emily Henry. Out of the few I've read, I would rank them. I think I already read this one. Funny Story, Beach Read, People Being on Vacation. Interesting. I think that you haven't read Book Lovers, have you? I think that a lot of people say that one's their favorite, right? Am I making that up? And then Beach Read?
I feel like people say Beach Read is their favorite, and a lot of people do like Book Lovers. I feel like I'm in the unpopular camp where People We Meet on Vacation is one of my favorites. So for me, I have to say I think it would be like Happy Place first, and then People We Meet on Vacation, and then Book Lovers, then Beach Read, then Funny Story.
Book lovers just got delivered today. Well, congratulations on your book haul. That sounds so fun. Are you gonna read that like right after Funny or Happy Place?
Advice.
I'm having such an issue with like book titles recently. I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from. Indigo Ridge and Juniper Hill and Indigo Hill and Juniper Ridge. I don't know what's happening. It is happening apparently. And okie dokie. Well, do we want to go into our next sprint?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. I am so ready to get back to the silly goofiness that is the title of the book that is Juniper Hill. Okay. Welcome back. How was that sprint for everybody?
Mine was good. I was up a lot during it, but I am tandem or immersive reading, however you want to classify it. But I'm now on page 93, so that was 43 pages.
A plus, A plus. I have no idea how much I actually read, but I just cannot. Every time he calls her honey, I'm like, it's so cute.
Is it like the duet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stunning.
It's so good. I am really into. I think I'm like, what if I had read this like on my Kindle, would I have liked it as much? Probably, but also the audiobook is just doing it on this one for me.
I love duet narrations. Like, I was thinking about doing a video about like my favorite audiobooks and like audiobook recommendations. And like, I have like a list on Goodreads of my favorite audiobooks,
Mhm.
and they're all like duet narration. Like, they're just so good. Like Quicksilver, the Quicksilver audiobook.
I did I end up sampling it? I don't think I did, but I had read it before the audiobook came out, and I'm like, I've heard such good things, and I'm like, I wish I had read it. But maybe on a reread, I could do that one.
Good. It's so good.
Interesting. Uh,
Like,
yeah.
I was gonna say, if you re-download it on Kindle Unlimited, then you can get it for $7.50 on Audible.
Okay. I'll circle back to that in a minute. Not me doing that immediately. Hey buddy, McKenna has been staying at my house the last like 3 days, and it was so much fun to get to see her. But we are long distance besties, and every time we get to see each other, I'm like, hi. So hi, how's it going? Happy Saturday.
That's so sweet. Hi,
Okay.
thank you.
McKenna did have a mini schnauzer growing up. Loved her. She did not love me as much, but that's okay. um I'm obsessed with dogs. Every time I see one, I'm like, this is mine.
He just came in from outside and he is low-key a little stinky now because obviously with the snow and him getting like his feet wet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you stink.
I was fully prepared for it to snow at all here. And I was like, okay, well, I've got like the towel set aside. We've got like the dog towel. We're good. We're sorted. We're prepared. And then it did nothing. And I was like, okay.
That's
Like,
what my mom's saying too.
because it wasn't getting convenient. But then the dogs, they had their grooming appointment after it snowed anyway. So I was like, just prepared for it to be the best grooming appointment ever. Because it's like, oh, everyone's gonna be fresh and clean after they get all gross in the snow. So yeah, that's cool. But I'm glad he loves snow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take him next week. Or because I take him to his like actual groomer and then I take him to like PetSmart every few weeks to get just a bath, and they don't like cut him because I just
Yeah.
and so I might take him next week to just go get a bath at PetSmart and call it a day. And maybe I might do it myself. Maybe I just can't stand the smell and then just decide to
Mm-hmm.
do it myself. Yeah.
I feel like when they were puppies, I used to take him to PetSmart for a bath here and there, but I usually just do it. It's so easy, just kind of do it real quick.
He's not like
A bath boy.
he is, but he isn't. Like, and it's hard too because so I have to do it in the guest bathroom because my bathroom in my room doesn't have a tub. Like, it's just like a shower only. And so there is no handheld sprayer. So I'm using like a cup to like,
Yeah, no, that's not fun.
and that's just, I'd rather just pay the $30 and have somebody else do it than just call it a day.
And plus, he comes out all dry too, and you don't have to deal with that. Your time is done. Like, that's.
Yeah. And plus, like, they do like his feet too. Like, they'll cut his feet and do his nails and his butt.
Important things.
So,
Editing your story, I love that. I have been loving reading sprints for productivity stuff too, because then you get to sit and talk about the books which you like, and then you can get stuff done that you like may or may not always like, but you need to do. That's my favorite. Ugh. I like watching like past sprints too. That has been a thing. Made it to page 120. You go. I feel like you're getting past like the initial like setup and stuff at around that page mark usually. So then you're kind of starting to get into it, and then you're like, wait, no, I'm here. I love that.
I loved Happy Place. Ugh.
She's like,
I'm like, do I need to reread it? Do I need to reread it? I have 2 copies of it. I bought the hardback and the paperback because I loved it that much.
2 copies, you got to read it again. Read one. Yeah.
No.
Like, try to think of a way you can, like, make yourself do it. I'm like, no, just do it.
Maybe this summer when it, like, warms up a little bit, because now I'm having FOMO of all of the, like, summery warm books. And I hate the summer because I hate being hot and I hate sweating, but
I do too. I'm such a winter person. I'm like, I don't want to be hot. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to, like, do the whole summer thing. But I feel it.
like, I'm, like, such a fall girly. Like, fall is my season. I love it.
I also kicked Heavy out to go ice fishing, so I have 0 distractions. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, ice fishing.
Okay, where are you at to be ice fishing? Because that makes me think, like, North Dakota. That makes me think, like, Canada, maybe even Alaska, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, Texas could never.
Alabama could never. Yeah.
That's so good that you got to, like, get rid of the distractions, though, because sometimes, like, just having another person in the room, I'm like, I want to be in the zone here and you're breathing. Like, come on.
That is so funny that you say that, because, like, there would be times when I was, like, living at home and my dad would be home and I'm just hearing, like, breathing. And I'm like,
that's enough of that. Quit that.
Why do you have to breathe?
Wisconsin. A+. I don't know. Part of me is like, I know nothing about the rest of the United States. A lot of times I'm like, wait, there's ice fishing in Wisconsin? Interesting. Now I know that.
No, I definitely could see that, though, because it's, like, further north.
Yeah.
So I just know it's cold.
It's a little chilly there, huh?
Yeah.
I think for my cover page on my bullet journal, I'm going to do my vision board, which I still have not done. And so I've been scrolling on Pinterest and now I'm like, wait, there's a lot here.
Okay, but, like, are we going to get a sneak peek?
Well, there's nothing, like, done yet. It's literally just so last year, because again, I'm a terrible online shopper and I like to, like, I think I'm going to do my bullet journal today. So Barnes & Noble always has the Lloydstrom journals, but they do the 120 GSM pages on a certain number of colors. So they have the wine color, and I really love this one. And I was like, well, what if I just do it again? And then I was like, I don't think I should do the same color journal a year, like 2 years in a row. So they had the green one, but it's the bullet journal version. So the pages in here are a little bit different. Like, it starts off with, first of all, it gives you which direction? There we go. The grid spacing on the.
Oh, that's nice.
And then it opens up to, like, the index, and then there's a future log in here, and then it just starts the pages. But the pages themselves, like, there's little, like, instead of, like, a normal dot journal on, I guess, like, the halfway point, there's 2 dots, and then the thirds, there's 3 dots at the very bottom. So, like, it gives you spacing guides.
That's nice, though.
Every page. I'm like, oh, wait, this is kind of a vibe. So at this point, all I have literally done in this actual journal is figure out, okay, how many pages in are we going to start? Because I feel like there's a lot of future log pages and index pages, because the actual, like, blank pages start at page 12.
Mm.
We're going to start at page 12. I have literal sticky notes. So we're going to do the vision board on, I guess, page 12, technically. And then the books by type spread, which I think, did I want to do, this was, okay, hold on. The big, like, illustrated spread.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to do the same thing, basically, and then color it in by the format that I listen to, which is funny because it's all going to end up being audio or ebook. Like, this whole last half of the year is literally just the same color.
Yeah, mine have all been immersive so far, except for 2. And they've been E.
And you've read a crap ton this year.
I've read 10 books.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Well, I will say that I did, on January 1st, I did a 24-hour readathon.
That helps, but, like, also, I've done 24-hour, well, the one that I've done, and actually posted something about it, I read all of, like, 3 books, maybe still. Like, 7 is a lot.
Yeah, which I read usually about 5 to 6.
Yeah.
in a
That
24-hour.
but I also, now that I think about it, that 24-hour readathon, that wasn't like a timed 24, but you do timed ones.
It depends. I was in the mood.
Hmm. You're in the
I
mood
was
to
in the
start reading
mood.
10 books
And
immediately.
it took me 4 days. Like it took me 4 days to read the full 24 hours. But usually I'll do from like 11 a.m. one day to 11 a.m. the next day. And I like to start because that's kind of the middle of the day. So then it gives me up until the point to where I go to sleep. So usually I'll stay up till about 11. So that's about 12 hours. And then I'll go to sleep, wake up at like 7, and then read from 7 to 11. And so then that gives me like
That's
a
smart.
majority of the first day and like part of the second day to get as much reading in. But yeah, I was just in the mood to like set the timer for 24 hours and just read. And it took me 4 days and I read 6 books, 6.5 books.
That's crazy.
So they were kind of short though, I will say.
6 is 6.
Yeah.
It helps too that like you're starting off the year so like productive feeling that way, as opposed to just being like me where I'm like, oh, I kind of like I still haven't started my bullet journal and it's what day is today? The millionth of January? The 11th of January? I love
Yeah.
that.
Which, because I started my bullet journal early because I knew that I wanted to do a video on it for Bookmas. And since it was my last day of Bookmas video, I knew that I needed to have it done. But I was nervous because I was like, oh, I was putting it off too because I was like, oh, I just don't know if I want to do it. Like, then I started thinking, I was like, oh, do I even want to make this a video? Like, do I even want to like post this video? And people love it. So
I love setup videos like so much. I had ordered a whole bunch of stickers from Etsy. They finally got here like the 2nd of January or so, and I was so intending on doing a December setup, but I was waiting for those stickers, and now I'm like, I'm still waiting. I've had these stickers for how long? But I love watching people set up videos, especially like just to see what pages they do and like what order they put stuff in and how they like decorate it and stuff. Like, are we all the junk journal ones that I really love now? I like seeing all the people that do stickers, all the people that do art. I'm like, you guys are so cool. I love watching.
yes, there's this one girl that I follow on TikTok, and like she does like the junk journal style, but she does it for every book. So she does like one page for each book, and then she like hand draw the little elements of the books to like put in it. They're so good. The next time I see one, I'll send it to you, but they're so good. I watched the one that she did for like Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren, I think, the other day. Oh, it was so good. And then she did one for Mile High, and that one was so good too. Like, they're just stunning.
I love Mile High.
Me too. I don't understand the Mile High haters.
No. Well, I think because when I had read it, I had heard some people hating on it, and I was like, okay, so I'm just going to set my expectations low. And then I think that right at the time was when Travis Kelce was left, right in the news all the time. And so I just kept picturing like glam, he's just a girl the whole time. And it was so funny to me. And I ended up just loving it. And then, but I could definitely see how people didn't like it. But then the right move, like I just loved that book. And I think that's what's really cool about that series too, is that it is found family, but they're like over at each other's houses all the time, and you're getting to like see those characters a lot. I'm be so sad when that's over.
I know, because the last one's coming out this year, and I read Play Along, and I loved that one. I gave it 5 stars. I want to say like the only two that I have given 5 stars is Mile High and Play Along, but I've never given anything in that series less than a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I also feel like I loved Mile High because I felt like when I read it at the time, I really related to Stevie as a character. So I was just like, I am obsessed with this. I love it. And then
it's fine.
I'm like, do I need to reread? Is it time to reread?
That's the only time I reread. Every time. I'm never gonna say no, honestly. I'm the worst, like peer pressure encouragement you could want. You want to read? Yep, do that.
Because I'm like, is this the year that I'm just in my reread bag? Because I've already read Touch of Darkness, and that was a reread for me. So I'm like, is this the year of the rereads?
It might be the year of the rereads.
Because I'm like, do I need to reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in the next like 2 weeks?
Yeah. I reread Fourth Wing because for the Who Who Did This to You book club. That was our December, or it was our November pick was Fourth Wing, and then December.
Iron Flame, and then January is Onyx Storm, but technically not because it comes out later. Yep, I'm in the book club.
Yep. So the whole like series of those events. At first, I was like, okay, I'm not going to reread Fourth Wing because when it came out, when Iron Flame came out, I was like, when it came out, what came out, however long ago that was, I reread Fourth Wing then. So I have already reread it, and I was like, I'm not going to do it again. There's like not as much plot. It's just setting the scene. And then so I was like, okay, I'm just going to jump to Iron Flame. I started rereading Iron Flame, and I was like, wait, like, I don't want to reread Fourth Wing. So then I went back and reread Fourth Wing after all. And then Iron Flame, I started it, and I have been listening to the graphic audios, and they're so fun. And I put that down for a little bit because I wanted to do literally all the other things I'm doing. So I need to go back to it. But yeah, you should reread it. Join it.
Because I'm like, oh, I don't know. Because are you one of those people that are like trying to figure out the theories, or are you just like vibing and then you're like, oh my God, I never would have seen it coming?
Yeah. So I typically, in previous years, I have been the theory person. And I love like watching all like on all the TikToks, all the Instagrams about all of the things. And I just get so like, oh my gosh, that's exactly it. So I was very big theory. And then Crescent City 3 came out, and I had such a disappointing time with it. I was like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. So I'm kind of trying to like not pay attention to anything Empyrean series related, because I don't want to end up not liking it just because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be in my like teeny weeny little brain.
Yeah, because I definitely have been very much a vibes. Like, I'm just following the vibes. Like, I'm here for the vibes. Like, reading Fourth Wing, I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And then like reading Iron Flame, I'm like, I mean, yeah, this is still like kind of fun. It wasn't as fun, but like, hey, like big plot twist at the end. So, oh, what's gonna happen? But I'm not like, let me go back to page 53 and see if there's a mention of her second signet. Like, I'm not like, I don't care about it that much, but
yeah,
I'm just like
okay. And I think on the rereads too, like you're able to pick up on so much, but part of me is like, how much of that is picking up on something, and how much of that is just like coincidence that we've talked about that we don't believe in. Anyways, I don't want to think that it is something entirely, and in my head think that it is that, and then when it's not that, because I'm not the one writing it, like how dare it be not that. Yeah. So I'm trying to like just vibe with it. But I think like when I read thrillers and stuff, I tend to, if it's good, I'll start thinking about things, and then I love being proven wrong in those scenarios. I think just because fantasy, it's a different setting too. I don't want to overhype myself.
And that makes complete sense. I get it. I love a good thriller though.
I have been into them more lately. I think they're just such good palate cleansers, because for a long time I was like, okay, no, romance, like contemporary romance is the palate cleanser. That's what I want. And then like Frida McFadden is not the best thriller writer, but her audiobooks are always like really easy to get a hold of, and they're so easy to like pay attention to if you need to, and like multitasking ones. So they're just easy to put on. So I have been in my Frida McFadden era.
Love that. Sure. Love that. I have been trying to find my like niche in the thriller genre, but I have been kind of exploring horror lately, and that has been kind of fun. Like so 2 horrors that I read recently that I actually really enjoyed way more than I expected was Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle, which is like set in Hollywood. Like it's about this like screenwriter, and like the higher ups are like, hey, like you have to kill off your gay characters, and then people start like dying in real life because he says no. And like that one was like so fun. Like I know that it's not supposed to, because it's supposed to be like scary and whatever, but like it was actually so fun. Like the setting of Los Angeles and like everything that was going on, him and his like friends that he had, like it was just so fun to me. And then I also read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I read that one like last week, and that one was a time. The attic scene, I'm still thinking about that to this day because I'm like literally ill. Like
2 years ago, maybe, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I was just like, "This is so camp. Like, what is happening? I kind of love this, but do I love this? But what is happening?" Like, I was just so taken. Like, I felt like I was disassociating the whole time reading it, and it was a time.
It really doesn't get good until like closer to the end, because like the first little bit where it's like that when they're first meeting James and all of that, like, okay, yeah, that's fun, like learning that he's a vampire, whatever, like that's fine. And then you have that 3-year gap or whatever, and then they really, really get into the story, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is
We're in.
yeah,
Blanket. We've got the water sitting nearby. We are rolling.
yeah. You're sat. I'm sat to
Mhm.
know what's gonna happen, and yeah, the bathtub scene too.
That
Just
is my favorite scene. Like, that is what I think about. Like, I remember certain things from that book, but that is the that's the moment. I think that I do remember too, like, it felt like it was dragging so much, and then all of a sudden it switched, and you were like, "Oh, great, we're going.
yeah. Now we're here. Yeah,
Now we're
and
here."
that was my first Grady Hendrix book too. So I was like, I don't know, but
Who is this author? What's happening? Horror
yeah,
and thrillers too are so hard because there's so many like nuances and so many like what am I trying to say? Different elements to it. Like Grady Hendrix does a lot more campy kind of stuff a lot of times, and then there's so many like I guess different elements and different ways to write things, and so it's kind of hard to figure out like what you're even getting into before you even get into it.
right.
Is that kind of what I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think that's roughly about it. You kind of have to put your foot in and then you're like, "Oh, wait, I'm here. Do I even like this? Am I going to like this or not?" Cuz like you can't there's so much stuff that you can't spoil about a thriller too.
Hmm.
That if you even hear like, "Hey, this is like this is what this is about." Like that's immediately.
Yeah, and that's why I literally don't read synopses. Like I hate synopsis. Like I'm like, if every book ever just like did not have a synopsis on the back and it was just like word of mouth and it's like, hey, this book is about these kids in London. It's basically a Gossip Girl, but British. I'm like, say
So
less. Say less. I got it. Or if it's like, oh, this is about a house at the top of this like hill and this girl is taking care of this woman who was supposed to like kill her sister. That's
done.
it. I'm good. Like,
Hand it over.
that's enough for me.
I have noticed recently that synopses like sometimes they're really good, really vague, everything's great, cool. They give away so much more information that I personally would want going into it. So
I
like
agree.
I don't like even if like I love watching vlogs for recommendations specifically because people like generally know what would be a spoiler to them, so they're generally pretty good about not like spoiling things. And then like so I'll start a book and then I'll go back and read the synopsis like when I'm doing a vlog and I'm like, is that in the synopsis? Is that a spoiler or not? And then I look at it, I'm like, no, the synopsis is more spoilery than I could ever want to be half the time. I'm like, okay, calm down.
Because
I'll
I'm
get
like, if it happens in the first chapter, it's not a spoiler. But if it happens like past 50 pages, I'm like, okay, now we're getting into like spoiler
like if
territory.
I was shocked or like intrigued or like, oh, that's a moment in that book at any point in time, I don't want to know about it. And I feel like a lot of times that's like the initial conflict setup that people put in there in a way that's not like vague enough to really be vague enough. So I also agree on the no preparation, just vibes, hop on in
And
and see
then
what
too, like a lot of times, like they'll have two paragraphs. So like, here's an example. Like, there's the first paragraph and then the second paragraph. So if I need to know and I haven't heard anything about it, I will literally only read the first paragraph. Like, I will not even touch the second paragraph because I feel like that's when they really start getting into like more spoilery bits. And I'm like, I don't want to know about that. So I will only read like to get a sense of what it's
that's smart.
about.
Read the little blurb and then call it good.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm into that. Very much so. Cool. Well, do we want to do another sprint? Looking what time it is, we probably have another sprint in us before dogs are ready.
Yeah, because it's about 12.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard anything from her, so I bet it'll be a little bit. So let's do one more sprint.
Sounds good.
I'm like, oh wow, I have to actually start it, don't I? Alrighty. See you in 30. Hello, welcome back. How was it? How's it going?
So we had a bit of a fiasco, and Navy started barking at literally everyone. The dog across the street, his name is Yoshi, and Yoshi was outside, and Navy just like lost his
Lost it.
marbles. Which he's still outside, so I'm surprised that like Navy's not barking, but and then there was like a kid that walked by, a kid and their dad that walked by, and of course he just had to let the world know that he was in the house. So
He said, I'm here and you should not be eating you so much.
yeah. Yeah. So I was able to get a little bit of reading done, but
I got I think I'm at chapter 23. Things are happening. I, however, finally whipped out my little Keenan Ivy printer I got for Christmas. And we have 2 things printed.
I also got one of those printers for Christmas, but I got the HP Sprocket.
I was looking at between this one and this one, and I think the reason I picked this one was just because I liked the pink. But I don't know why I picked this one, so now I'm like, should I have done more research? Definitely. 100%.
Yeah, because I was looking at the Canon Ivy and the HP Sprocket, and I had heard like different things. I heard that they both had their pros and cons and whatever. And I don't know, I just liked the way the HP Sprocket one looked better, which because that one came in 4 colors, because it came in black, white, purple, and pink. And I got the black one, which I had originally wanted the silver one, but then I saw this like ad for the HP Sprocket, and this girl was using the black one, and I was like, it's my sign to get the black one. Like I am like me and one of my friends were talking, and you're like, you have your brown girlies and your black girlies, and I am a black girly.
Yeah. I think that I should be a brown girly, but like I just like the black stuff. Like every time this is the first phone I've gotten in years that's not been the black phone, and I'm like, did I just change my aesthetic? What do I do? Is my identity completely off? I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, I am a white phone girly. Like I am a white phone girly. Like I will never get, like I've had a black phone before, and like I literally only got it because the other option was blue, and like blue is my favorite color, but like not for a phone.
I don't love the color phones and stuff. I'm like, I just want to play normal because I get so bored, and I want to be able to like put whatever phone case I want with it and just like completely change it if I want to. And if it's blue, I can't completely not have anything that's specifically not blue.
Right. Like I think the fanciest color, if you will, that I'd ever gotten on a phone was like when they had the rose gold, and it was like the pink one. But that's about it. Ever since then, I've only ever gotten like white phones, and then the one time that I got a black phone.
You're like, who am I anymore? I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that. Becca, you made it to page 154. You're making some progress, my friend.
That's so good.
I love that for you. Are you liking it so far? How's it going? Is it good? Are we liking it? I'm over here being really nosy because I'm like, read it for me. I need to read it.
You should. It's so good.
I should. I feel like maybe this summer I want to plan like to have a summer romance little moment, but not necessarily like summer romance, but just like not, dark indie fantasy romance that I always read.
Yeah, understandable. I love a good. I'm trying to get more into my indie fantasy bag. Like,
I'm into it.
I'm like, one of my goals for the year is to read more indie.
So my genre blanket that I still haven't started and officially picked out the colors, I couldn't decide like what genre specifically I was going to do. I think what I'm going to do, because I read so much fanro that like if I were to do fanro as one color, it would be a blanket of that one color at this point almost. And so it's like if I'd separate it out by like indie pub and trad pub, maybe that would be a good idea. So but I think that would help me with reading more indie too. So I support this goal. I also have this goal. We can do this together.
Okay, play, because I'm like, give me all of the indie authors, give me all the indie romance, give me all of the just indie. I need it.
Give it
Like
to
I
me.
literally read an indie alien romance the other day, and
Yes.
that was fun.
Did we? You ended up liking that? I didn't see what your review was.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
gave it 3 stars. It was exactly what it was. Like it was what I thought it was. It was what I wanted. It was what, yeah, it was no. Like there were people giving it 1 star, and people who in the reviews are like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, ask me about it. I'll talk about it.
Oh
I
my
was
god.
like, literally, I was like, it was a 3 star. I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I needed and what I wanted, and I got it for free. So even better.
So I had looked up that book, but I think it actually pulled up the second book. The reviews on that are so terrible. I was like,
We'll see, because I don't even think there is a second book. I think they accidentally put 2 books in Goodreads. So there's only 1 book. Like that author literally only has 1 book.
interesting.
Yeah. And the reviews are terrible on it. The reviews are bad. They are.
They're bad.
But I had a good time.
There we go. That's what matters. You're getting to the point of giggling by yourself in your library office. That is a good time right there. I love that. You're like, husband's kicked out to go fishing. You're just giggling to yourself about some Imhin. That is a good Saturday. I'm glad we could spend it with you. Well, friends, I think that's about all I have time for Sprintwise today. But thanks for all for joining. Thanks for joining, Bailey. I have your channel. I linked your channel in the description box, didn't I? If not, I will fix that. But anyways, thanks for joining. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to everyone. Literally hope this was the best reading moment of your life, of your day, of your year.
Amen. I love that.